Yo, here in my garage with my Volkswagen. But you know what? We have a very big announcement. When I say we, Davis Ryder, my homie, and I are teaming up with freaking Wheeljack. Finally, I'm so stoked. I've been wanting to stream with Wheeljack for so long, and he has this gorgeous Halloween special Pop Kill exclusive. 2 of them, limited to 666. Fitting, but he also made a very low print run of medals. That's releasing on his website, willjack.com, like Halloween morning, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But this coming Thursday, Davis is gonna stream first starting at 4 o'clock. I'm gonna then stream at 6:30 with Wheeljack, and we're gonna be dropping like specialty remarks of these exclusives. Really want you to be there. Click the link in the description. Join Davis, join myself over on the best new place to buy and sell collectibles. If you use the link in the description, you get a $15 credit you can use on your first purchase. That's gonna cover your freaking shipping and some. Come by, get some Pop Kill, and enjoy the video.
We got Booty on the cover of number 10. This is the most trending comic books in the world. I mean, fair to say between Marvel and DC both, is this like the most sexualized male character?
Absolutely, and I think it's about time. I think it is fair to be able to have some pumpkin spicy with a little bit of Nightwing buns on the cover.
Nightwing 130, hitting $20 average sales.
Nice.
And this is called the pumpkin spice variants. You know, there's actually a handful of them. Take a look at John Boy Myers. It's gorgeous. Chuma Hill. Really want to do a cover with Chuma Hill. Killing the game. Nathan Zerdy, gorgeous Poison Ivy. I like what DC does, typically pushing the boundaries just a little bit more than Marvel does, wouldn't you say?
I really do, and they have such a great stable. It's nice to see Frank Cho do another cover for this. Every year, DC seems to get into this like trick-or-treat style thing, and this one, no exception. A bunch of fantastic art covers out there. Get to your local store, pick them up. This one's on fire, but I'm sure you can get a lot of the other ones at cover price.
Which one's your favorite? The one on the list is by Kevin Wada, number 9. On this list of trending comic books of the week, which you can find the larger list of 20 on Key Collector Comics, the best comic app in existence. There's 20 comics. We pick only 10 of them to talk about today. I bet you own some of them. Go see if you have any, and use code TOM101 if you don't have the app already to support the show and unlock a free 2-week subscription of the app. Number 9 on the list, Amazing Spider-Man, number 700, The Death of Peter Parker in Doc Ock's body, because him and Doc Ock switched consciousness, you know, switch bodies, rather, would be the better way to put it. And this was such an excellent ending to the ASM run. I mean, kind of. I mean, it's issue 700 is a landmark issue. And started what would become Superior Spider-Man, which is Doc Ock's brain in Peter Parker's body. And damn it, dude, I saw this cover that came out this past week. It was Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 22. And it said spoiler variant by Declan Shelby. I looked at the cover and I was like, this looks like the Iron Spider's coming back. Didn't connect the dots that we have the return of Doc Ock as Spider-Man. So it's spiking up this book on the list, which is hitting $12 average sales, but a 9.8 going for $150. Put some respect on ASM 700 and Superior Spider-Man.
Keep in mind that the original book was $9.99, and I know that people have warmed to the idea a little bit more, but when it first came out, people were freaking out about this whole Doc Ock, Peter Parker, flipped consciousness thing. So, I don't know, there are copies out there. 140% increase in copies sold this week is a good amount, especially because it's tied into the new Ultimate Universe.
Which is ending soon. Like, what are they doing over at Marvel? It seems like they're winning with this. Maybe they have something up their sleeve. I digress, because number 8 on the list, Batman Vengeance of Bane, number 1. We got the first appearance of Bane before he became an abomination and absolute Batman. We'll get to that in a second. $80 high average sales, $350 for a 9.8 seems right. I mean, we were chatting about this book being sub 300 for quite a while. I think this is the year of Bane. I don't think Bane has ever been more relevant and badass than what they're doing in Absolute Batman. But then when you couple that with the Nightfall animation adaptation that's coming, that was announced at New York City Comic Con, it sounds like he's going to be a mainstay for quite some time.
The last time we saw this book on the list was when Tom Hardy was doing a private signing. So there was a CGC-related spike, but this is purely story-related. And the people that are excited about the new Absolute Batman, the new Absolute Bane in Absolute Batman, they are really going back to the original source material. It's a great read. It's a great character. We all know what he does. 183% increase in copies sold.
Yeah, we know Bane to have been the one to break Batman in the comic books, but in Absolute Batman, there's a lot more characters that he breaks. I encourage you to read Absolute Batman number 12. If you are not feeling the Bane love after reading that issue, you will. Moving on to number 7 on the list, Green Lantern 87, first appearance of Jon Stewart. All right, so yeah, $650 high average sales, but you can pick up a 9.2. This just happened in October for $698, an increase of copies sold of 450% because the Lantern show, which is going to star Jon Stewart next to Hal Jordan, true detective style narrative that's about to take place, it is wrapped filming. And this is what Aaron Pierre had to say, the person who's going to portray Jon Stewart. We recently wrapped Lanterns. It was an enormous shoot. It was of a grand scale in every sense of the word. And that is what I want to hear from the actors that were going to be part of this DC launch on HBO.
There have been so many rumors about this. Jessica Cruz was talked about for years. Larfleeze and Sinestro and all of these other characters that could be in the core, but we knew Jon Stewart was going to be a main character. And that's why I think this book is supremely undervalued. And for a 9.2 to go for sub $700, that still feels really, really low. There's a lot of excitement, a 450% increase in copies sold this week. And I think there are a lot of Green Lantern fans out there that are just waiting for this to drop.
Well, speaking of underrated, I mean, yeah, Jon Stewart, of course, this is a classic key. But when we think of like the first Green Lantern, you're not thinking of the Golden Age, right? I mean, if you're thinking of, the first appearance of Flash, most people are going to go Barry Allen, Silver Age, Showcase number 4. Well, if you're thinking of Green Lantern, you're going to go Showcase 22, the Silver Age, first appearance of Hal Jordan.
Right.
I pulled this up on eBay. $16.79 for a 1.5 first Hal Jordan. It seems low.
If that's presentable, I mean, that's something that I believe anyone would put in their collection. I've always thought that Silver Age DC is just undervalued.
Let me know what you think in the comment section below, because number 6 on the list, hot damn, Robert Kirkman did it again. Transformers number 1, but we're not going OG. We're going to actually stick to the Energon universe right now. An increase of copies sold of 267%, $12 average sales, $60 for a 9.8, super affordable. The launch of Transformers in Robert Kirkman's universe that's shared with G.I. Joe is getting option for an animation akin to Invincible.
Describing it like the Invincible treatment is very, very Robert Kirkman of them, but we know that with The Walking Dead and the Invincible animated, this is really in good hands. I'm excited because there are so many characters and, as you know, so many different groups and intellectual properties that are being pulled together for the Energon universe stuff.
Like Mask, you see that?
Transformers is just the tip of the iceberg, and yeah, I am excited for Mask.
I think you should absolutely put money down on the 1 in 100 if you're speccing on Energon Universe Transformers. There are so many printings of this book, so many variants of this book.
Right.
The 1 in 100, you can get a 9.8 for $100.
I mean, that's crazy because I know the Raws were going for, I don't know, $150, $200 right out the gates. The fact that you can get a graded 9.8 of the 1 in 100 for a book that, spoilers, it still shows this crazy thing on the front where a character died, years ago, but still, it's a book to pick up.
Keeping the Energon news going with number 5 on the list, we have G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, issue number 1, $180 high average sales.
Sure.
We got the OG run here from the 80s. And something doesn't make sense to me. I actually posed this question to Jeff on the Hot 10 because that's where this book was landing this past week. It's so hot that it's trending, likely because the price is kind of strange right now.
Sure.
So take a look at this. A 9.8 direct, the 90-day average, $841. And you know what? Seems like a pretty fair price. I mean, if you are waiting for the book on auction, you can snag it for under $900.
Sure.
But we're going to see this go for around $1,000 buy it now, which feels good for a 9.8 G.I. Joe 1. However, here's the last sale for a newsstand 9.8. October 17th, $855. What? Here's a sale prior to that, October 12th, $810. What? Like, there are newsstand copies that are selling for cheaper than direct market copies, which means something has gone awry.
It's really interesting to think about that because there was even a sale in the last 2 weeks, legitimate sale, $1,825 on October 7th. This was an auction. There were 45 bids. It was a legitimate seller.
Newsstand.
They have over 15,000 positive feedback. I mean, people are willing to pay. A lot of the times you see the direct copies that go for $1,000. They'll be buy it now. And the auction copies will go for about $800 or so. You can get the newsstand ones go between $800 and $1,200, but this one at $1,800 it seems crazy, but it looks as legit as it comes.
45 bids on that auction.
There were a lot of people really, really interested. And again, I think it was a very reputable seller that has a good following, and there was just a lot of FOMO on this.
An increase of copies sold of 210%. Shout out Madam Web. What doesn't make sense to me is either the direct market is selling too cheap, which means people are underestimating that newsstand, or vice versa. Maybe that newsstand is selling too cheap and people are overspending on the direct. If you can get a newsstand right now for the same price of the direct, go for the newsstand. Skip the direct.
I really just want to point out that during Comic Boom, and yes, we know those prices were crazy, both the direct and the newsstand were over $3,000 for CGC 9.8. There aren't that many more on the census. The demand isn't that much higher. You know, we're just kind of at the point where I think this Energon stuff, it may be at the bottom and it's a good time to get in.
Number 4 on the list, Howard the Duck, number 12. All right, off the cuff. I've always thought this was underrated. What about you?
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
$30 average sales, but when you have a 9.8 in August going for $78, something's up. Someone paid $222 earlier this year for a 9.8. And I think it's because people just don't know about the significance of this comic book. I mean, it's 12 issues into the run, and we get the first appearance of one of the biggest rock bands in human history.
Kiss showing up with the cameo on the last page of this book and then being fully into the next issue of this book has always made Howard the Duck one of my favorite reads. It's a great one. I've been a huge Kiss fan for years. I know Tom was raised in a very musical family and had a lot of good music background. I was actually Gene Simmons from Kiss for 2 straight Halloweens. Like, true facts there. I'm a big Kiss fan.
Dude, I grew up playing guitar. My dad was a drummer, so like there's a lot of influence that Kiss had on him. But also like playing music, I was always a big fan of Ace. You know, like I related. I was always most excited to see him on stage beyond any of the other musicians from the group, which actually brings us to number 3 on the list. With the passing of Ace Frehley, we have Marvel Comics Super Special Issue number 1. This is the second appearance in comics of Kiss, but it's also like the premiere issue featuring them. Like they're on the cover. You got Doctor Doom on the back cover, looking so damn cool. And this is that book that you can actually find conversations about this. We've talked about this on the mic multiple times, but it's like the band was with Stan Lee. They jumped on a private jet to go to Buffalo, New York, where I was born, by the way, to go to the printer to drop vials of blood into the ink. And it sounds like Stan Lee like decided last minute not to do it, but the band did. And there's pictures of them, you know, like just doing Kiss stuff, man. And it's so sad to see a legend pass this last week. And it's really cool to see the comic fans come out and probably buy these books because of nostalgia and their love for this band that likely influenced them growing up as well.
Kiss released many comic books throughout their career. Psycho Circus definitely had a bunch of comic books. They've released things through Dynamite, but this is where it all started. And it's incredible to be able to see, you know, such a formative music group that really broke down all of these boundaries, that has absolutely crossed over from music into comic books. Ace, you are sorely missed.
Yeah, we have a $300 high average sales. Someone grabbed a 9.2 for $725 on this book. It's oversized and it's dope as hell. Number 2 on the list. Before we get there, join the mystery mail call. 1 per box. Rob Liefeld, Youngblood, going out to every single person. We got Shaft on the cover. It's going to be so dope. I'm so excited to get Rob on the mic to talk about Youngblood. I grew up reading Youngblood as a kid, dude, on the con floor. My dad just being like, read this. You remember issue 1? You get through half of it, and then you got to flip it around, flip it over because you read another story with another team entirely that you get introduced to. You get introduced to like 12 new characters in one issue. There were cards in the book. It's so exciting. And one cool thing that Rob's doing with Youngblood, I don't know if the exclusives are going to get this treatment. I hope so. No promises. But they're also going to include polybagged cards of characters in the back of the book, doing a total shout out to his X-Force run days.
I love it. Again, throwback to the 90s. Don't go crazy, guys, because if in 20 years from now, I'm buying a full long box of this from you because you wanted to try and put your kids through college, you are collecting wrong.
But if we get a second appearance on a card, you pick the Deadpool one.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. You pick out that Deadpool card. Number 2 on the list, we got Void Rivals number 1. $4 high average sales, okay? So let's take you back. We talked about Transformers. Obviously, the Energon universe is a combination of multiple animation universes brought into one, in particular, Transformers and G.I. Joe.
Mm-hmm.
But the first issue that was released was Void Rivals, and we didn't know what this was. We just knew Robert Kirkman's doing something, and it's exciting. So back then, I decided to do a variant on Void Rivals. I took a chance on Robert Kirkman, but they were kind of treating it weird. You know, they gave us the covers, first off. Mm-hmm. We couldn't design them. They had them locked and loaded for reasons I wouldn't understand until right before release. And what would happen is I would get an email saying, hey, Robert's doing a conversation, a Skype call with the stores that are backing this project. He has to talk to you about it. And it was in this Skype call where he broke the news that Void Rivals isn't just a new IP. No, it's the spawning of a new universe that's going to feature Transformers in this book. And people didn't know that this was happening until they read it. So you get to the last page and you see a Transformer.
Robert Kirkman is so good at dropping these unexpected bombs. Void Rivals was one of those that I don't think my mind has been blown this much since he prematurely ended The Walking Dead, and none of us knew that. As a shop, this completely and totally revitalized a lot of intellectual properties that I just think people weren't buying or reading anymore.
An increase of copies sold of 300%. Hit the like and subscribe, because at the list at number 1, we have a book that I'm so excited to read. I have never read this, but I know of the creator. He's from Washington. We have number 1 on the list, Option Status, straight to Netflix with directors and producers attached. Black Hole number 1 hitting $25 high average sales.
Charles Burns, I believe, is one of the most underrated illustrator, writer, artists of, again, our generation and even older generations. Being a kid who grew up in the 80s and 90s in Seattle, you knew that Fantagraphics always released cool stuff. And when the Seattle scene started happening, you'd go into comic shops, you'd go into Xanadu Comics, Rocket Comics, Comic Dungeon, and you would grab the free magazine by the door and figure out, hey, what's happening? Who's playing in town? Is Nirvana going to be able to give a free show? Whatever. And in some of those comics, you would find Charles Burns comics. So being able to read this book and know that this has been optioned for release on Netflix, I am super, super excited. It is dark. It is horror. And he is one of my favorite artists now, Mike Allred. He has absolutely named Charles as one of his influences. And when you read Black Hole, you will figure out why.
Increase of copies sold of 900%. Listen to this synopsis. Adult-themed series from Charles Burns about a group of teens who become mutated after contracting an STD. One of my favorite, I would say one of the most underrated horror movies over the last couple decades has been It Follows. It pretty much set up A24 to just take over the game for thriller, horror, suspense narratives. And it's like something here. I'm excited. I want to dive into this book. And it's been a minute since we've seen something trending that I've never read that I'm immediately after this filming going to go pick up.
So keep in mind that this is a 12-issue miniseries. The first 4 issues were released on Kitchen Sink Press, and there are multiple printings of the first 4 issues. Then there was a gap of more than a decade before they released 5 through 12 on Fantagraphics. And I believe that that's because Charles Burns, who originally is from Seattle, worked with Fantagraphics to get the rest of the story told. You can still get this in paperback and hardcover form. It should be available at any normal bookstore as well as online, but the single issues, especially the first 4, the ones from Kitchen Sink, are tough to find. mind.
Hit the like and subscribe, and of course,
Geek responsibly.
enough said. Hello. Video's over. Join the community by going to comictom.com. Put your phone number in and join our SMS group, our text message group. This is where we source all the giveaway winners. I'm going to list off a bunch of giveaway winners. If your phone number ends in 1320, 5984, 7144, 7119, check your telefono. If your name is Noah Bratt, Kristen Williamson, or Brody Horn, check your phones. We got some comics to send you. I'm gonna give away, let's do 3 foil TMNT 12s. This is my brand new exclusive with John Boy Myers. We're gonna give away these books next week. So hit the website, join the community. If you wanna pick up some of these foils, they're listed there. It's only $25 and we'll see you very soon.